Hi, my name is Declan Bartel, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to use the panel saw. Now, basically starting off with the basic safety of the shop, you're going to make sure that you have multiple people that have safety goggles or some form of safety gear on, like something I would be wearing with gloves and goggles. Goggles or glasses are very important. You need to make sure that you have your goggles on so that when you're using the saw, debris doesn't get into your eyes and stuff. So, I'm first going to show you how to move the saw because a lot of people actually move the saw wrong. So you're going to want to start by putting both hands on it like this and making sure you have two people to lift it up and carry it out to where you're going to be able to cut wood. I'm going to put it down right here. So this is the panel saw. Basically, the basic use of the panel saw is if you have a board, say, such as this, and you need to make a nice, clean cut. Normally, you would have two people, one person holding it like this, placing it like whatever direction you want to on the rollers here, which way you need to cut it. Often, two people would be doing this. One person holding it here, making sure it's steady and getting onto the rollers right. And the other person will be here, manning the cutter and doing the sawing. Now, when you're sawing, you need to make sure that the blade, which is in the center here, is lined up with what you need to cut and where you need to cut it. And you need to make sure that there are no obstructions in the way of this, no body parts, nothing that can injure another person. And again, that goes with the goggles and safety gear to make sure that you don't get things in your eyes or splinters in your hands or something like that. And so basically, but the panel saw itself isn't that hard to use. It's more technique based. You don't want to go too fast or you don't want to run it too long so you don't overheat the saw or wreck the equipment. And simply, all you have to do is to turn it on and actually saw something. Make sure that everybody is clear, no body parts in the way of the saw here. It's not plugged in now, so it won't turn on. You basically flip this switch, it turns it on, and you drag it down to make a clean cut. And that's how you turn it off. Make sure that you turn it off before you bring the saw blade back up from when you're done cutting. And then this is the measuring on the side if you need to measure anything. And if you need to move it up and down for a different cut, then you just turn this dial here and it moves it up and down, which is also useful with the measuring on the side. Now another very small use to use is when if you need to cut something from the side, which often you don't use this a lot. I myself actually haven't used this a lot, so we don't use it. It's angle cuts. So what you need to do, if you need to turn this, you pull these two pins out, and it is often difficult to move, and you can move it sideways, like this. And if you need to make a cut sideways, then that's how you do it. When you are done, make sure that before you move it, to unplug the saw and make sure there's, again, no other obstructions or things in the way of what you are doing. Make sure that in between each cut you remove all boards from the area before you make another cut. So often it'll come through the middle and you'll have to remove the two pieces from the side, take another piece. So make sure that everyone is out of the way, that there are no body parts in the way of the saw when you're doing any of this, and make sure that you have another person there with you to supervise you. Especially if you're unexperienced doing that, make sure that you have someone who is experienced with the shop supervising you with what you were doing if you were learning how to. So that basically concludes the video on the panel saw. Thank you, and have a nice day.